Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Joel CP, and I'm back here again with another video. And today I'm here to break down the best pass defense formation in the game, which is going to be $326. You can find $326 the formation in the Lions playbook, the multiple defense, and the Giants, just to give you a couple of options. You guys can go ahead and grab those in the auction house, or you can grab those in the store with training. But yeah, this is the best defense in the game. I run it all the time. It's my base defense. I'm going to show you guys my base defense coverage, a couple of different coverages I like to switch up, my philosophy, and the personnel that you guys should use. And then if you guys smash the like button, you guys leave comments down below saying that you guys like this video, enjoy it. I'll follow it up with more, and maybe you can go more in depth. So yeah, so to start off, just before I get any further, when you get into a game, you want to switch your coach adjustments, the first two options. Those are the only ones that I touch personally. I mean, if you touch the other ones and you found some settings that you feel comfortable with, go ahead and do so. But personally, I like to go ahead and just touch the first two, and I like to turn defensive auto flip off, and you want to turn, it says, I don't know if I think it says auto base alignment or auto defensive alignment, and you want to change that from default to man. And the reason being is because this scheme has a lot of man to it, or the formation, like, you want to run a lot of man with it because man is really good, especially how many DBs are on the field. So when you're gonna not run man and you're in zone coverage, you don't want to tell your opponent that you're in zone coverage, and most good players or some decent players are easily going to be able to tell switching between man and zone. So you'll be able to turn your man alignment so your opponent doesn't know when you're in man and when you're in zone. So for example, when you come out on a big third down and he's struggling versus man, he'll put a bunch of man beaters on the field, and you'll be in zone coverage and he'll throw right at you because there really isn't anything open because he was expecting man coverage. So I would recommend to have those defensive coach adjustments as that. I mean, anything else, like I said, if you feel comfortable. So the number two thing is going to be personnel. And on the 3D lineman for Mutt, I have 2 superstar abilities, and I'm actually thinking about going to 3 because you're going to be seeing a lot of 3-man pressure and 4-man pressure, and you need to get block sheds quick. Well, you don't need to get block sheds quick. It would just benefit you to get block sheds quicker because you're playing man-to-man. At some point, someone's going to get beat. So I would recommend to have at least 1 to 2 superstar abilities. On my D-line, I have LT at this spot, I have Aaron Donald at this spot, and I have DeMarcus Lawrence Mutt superstar. And for these 4 cornerbacks, the 2 slot ones, it's just speed. I don't really worry about man, but man could help. And the 2 outside guys, I'm worried about press, speed, and man. And then the 2 safeties, these guys you're going to be lurking on for the most part, so you want to have speed and agility, maybe even height. So I use Adrian Amos, Theme Builder, and Ken Houston, Legend. But if you guys can find any budget guys like Justin Reed, for example, or any of those guys to use at safety, I would recommend that as well. And then in your middle linebacker spot, you want 2 safeties. And the reason being is because you are going to be running man sometimes, or actually a lot, like I said. So when you have 2 safeties in these spots, when they're manned up on tight ends or running backs, it's going to be way easier for them to guard them than if a linebacker is. So unless you have Shazier, I'd recommend to have 2 safeties here just because you don't want your guys to get rough. The next thing after that is getting used to your coverage adjustments. And all you're going to do to bring up your coverage adjustment screen is go ahead and you're just going to press triangle immediately as your opponent hikes the ball. Or not hikes the ball, as your opponent picks a play. And all you want to do is immediately press. Even though it's going to be pressed, just do it again. So triangle, left stick down. And then depending on what your opponent is running, and I always in the beginning of the game come out and shade over top and shade outside. But depending on your opponent is running, if he's if he's throwing a lot of slants inside, or if he's throwing some drags and posts inside and you're getting roasted inside, then you can shade inside. And if he's throwing a lot of corner routes, then you could just keep the shading outside. But I always shade over the top. I never shade underneath, just because I don't want to get beat for a touchdown. And as the computer just randomly hikes the ball. And then the adjustments that I usually make is I just put one of my safeties in a purple, and that's really about it. So to put a safety in a purple, you can click on them and then press X and then left stick to the right, or triangle, R1, left stick to the right. And yeah, that's really all I really do when it comes to man. And it usually bags up. Like I said, you want to get used to just your coverage adjustments, and when you want to shift inside and when you want to shift outside. And it's really just a mind game versus the opponent that you're playing. But make sure, like I said, you always want to shade over the top. So come out, triangle, right stick up immediately. Then the next play that I run afterwards is I mix in a cover 3 sky press. And I'd recommend just having all these in your audibles. And to access your audibles, all you're going to do is press L2. And just have them in your audibles so that they're on the fly, just in case you don't feel comfortable in the defense that you're in. And you can go ahead and switch it immediately. So the next thing I like to come out in is cover 3 sky press. And I like to run this on, like I said, big third downs or in situations where my opponent is starting to shred or move down the ball easily. I personally, first drive, my philosophy is I'm going to run man and just let them go down the field. And if they're feeling confident, they're shredding, then I like to take notes on what they're looking at. And from there, I come out in either DB fire, I come out in cover 3 sky press. And I have a couple of different things I do out of DB fire, but I cover 3 sky press. I'm looking just to play a lot of coverage. As you can see, for the most part, I actually run this stock. I'm gonna make it a couple adjustments, but it just depends on what my opponent is running. So if like he's running a corner route, then usually this guy, if he's man aligned, is gonna be all the way over here, because again, it's gonna look like man coverage. So I'll usually man this guy up to like, I can't do it now, but man him up to like triangle or circle. And then I'll user the spy. You wanna user the spy because most of the other zones are fine. And in this situation, yes, I know it looks like a purple is gone, but I can't man align. Actually, yes, I can. I can show you guys right now. This is what it would actually look like, but this guy would be over here. This is what it would look like. It would look like man coverage. So, like I said, I would man up this hook curl. I would recommend manning up the hook curl because yellows are really, really bad this year. I don't like them on my field. So I'd man him up to something, and then with this guy, I would either user this yellow or user the spy. And if I'm usering the spy, I'm sending the yellow on a blitz just to get a 4-man, a couple of pressure, and I'm fine with this. And you just want to keep the outside thirds, and maybe, and honestly, if you're gonna get bombed, because sometimes people are gonna hit you with cover 3 bombs, all you're gonna do to stop a cover 3 beater is triangle, triangle, square, and right stick to the right to deep half, so you can stop the cover 3 beaters as well. So that's the defense that I usually like to run out of cover 3. I also like to hard flat sometimes on 4th downs, but usually that's what I like to run. And then I like to switch in DB fire as well, and I like to mix it in as well because it's another formation. Not another formation. It's another coverage that my opponent has not seen because he's used to man coverage, and I can also blitz out of it as well. So with DB fire, I usually just man up both of my cornerbacks, just depending on what the formation is. It usually just, it doesn't, it just depends on what my opponent is hitting me with. And then after that, I like to maybe put this guy in a spy, but the vert hook is really, really good. That's the only yellow that is good. Hook curls are really bad. 3 recs are really bad as well, but vert hooks are pretty decent. So I like to either keep my guy in a vert hook, or I like to put him in a spy, depending on who the quarterback is. And that's how I like to run my DB fire. And then when I blitz, I like to just blitz like this and then spread my D-line and shift up. So to spread your D-line, it's going to be left on the D-pad and left to spread your D-line. So left on the D-pad, left stick up, and then left on the D-pad, right stick up. And that's really about it, just to send some 5-man pressure. And then it's a cover 2 shell, so if he tries to hit the flats, it should be an easy pick. And then on top of that, the run defense that I like to run out of this is spinner, especially versus like I-form and stuff like that, even that. But let me just show you. Spinner is just pretty easy and simple to set up. All you're gonna do is press, and you're just gonna move this guy inside. Not this guy, you're gonna move this guy inside, the blitzer. And I like to use her, I won't turn around, but I like to use her this backside guy, and I like to try to shoot this backside gap. And if I can't, then one of my guys is going to make a tackle because it's man and you're sending a bunch of people. And if I can shoot that backside gap, then I try to. And when I mean backside gap, I mean where 66 is. So sometimes 77 is going to come pick me up. Sometimes he won't. It's just weird. That's just how the game is. So I like to try to always shoot for the backside gap right there. He pushed me to the other gap, but as you can see, my cornerback is in man, so he's there just for the cutback, and my other safety's right there. And that's why I like to run spinner. And if you tried to bounce this to the outside, there's a lot of congestion on that left side too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, this quick breakdown on what I feel like is the best pass defense in the game, and a big reason why I've just been able to go on a lot of win streaks and why I'm number 4 in my head-to-head. And like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully you guys are locking stuff up. Leave any type of videos that you want, any type of tip videos. If you guys are struggling with anything, leave it in the comment section. I'll try to knock it out as soon as I possibly can. Try to smash the like button on this video, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.